Right. Summer up, peace. So back once again. We got a lot to talk about. We have the analysis of the Tripitaka, right? Book of Discipline, chapter of the feet, trying to get into Buddhism. We're going to get into the Quran because we got to try to glean what is important for us to understand about the world around us, right? And how we could sort of power up ourselves, cultivate ourselves. And more parroting of why semen retention is an incredibly important practice. But we're going to start a new series today. The series that we're going to start today is the perpetual battle with the shadow entity. Of course, it sounds like something out of Lord of the Rings, right? It sounds like something out of Harry Potter, sounds like something out of Captain Underpants, all these young adult novels. What does that actually mean? Like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna talk about a facet of our eternal battle as individuals trying to cultivate our personal forces due to the practice of semen retention, and how we eternally will do battle against this shadow entity and its many myriad forms. The shadow entity, right, that comes in the form of falling in line with the things of this world, right? Having families, having children, buying into what they're telling you to buy into, which is masculinity in itself is toxic. Femininity is something that is bad and inherently destructive, and you need to become as masculine as possible. You have to discard, these are all of the things that's part of the shadow entity. Shadow entity also pushes licentiousness, right? It talks about having sex consistently, because as a man, we are not men unless we continuously overuse the sexual organ. We know that not to be true, men that have practiced semen retention for even a modicum of time. So what we're going to talk about today is, of course, in regards to that shadowy entity, right? We are going to talk about physical sensation and lust. That is one of the many forms of that shadow entity. Why is that such a bad thing? Remember, our fathers told us, you got to take down every single girl that comes in your path. You got to get a family. You got to have kids by X amount of age. You have to have this car. You have to have a gold chain. But dad is going to put us further into poverty. It doesn't matter. As long as they understand that you're cool, that's all that matters. And this is all silly. We get older based on these perceptions taught to us by our fathers, right? By our parents. And we start to perpetually chase a new God. Every Sunday we might go to mass. Maybe you guys are Jewish. Every Saturday you go to Shabbat, right? I hope I said that correctly. Whatever your religion may be, right? You continuously go and follow tradition, because that's what tradition denotes. That's how you serve your gods, your various gods, which are all one and the same. But we're going to talk about that in another video. As you guys are serving your particular gods that you have separated due to maybe your own consciousness or the advice from the people that taught you, right? We are after we finish our masses, our church sessions, we go and indulge. We feed this shadowy entity. Why do we do this? Why is it that we worship the God of sensation? You see, sensation is what makes us feel alive. There's a lot of dopamine that is released in the brain when we indulge in things like this, which is splurging, right? When we are sleeping with women. These are all tantalizing to the body. And of course, because we are fulfilling our biological imperative, which is the poisonous condition that we were granted with by the Creator. I am very sorry, but this sucks. There's the poisonous condition that we are granted by the Creator, or deemed we are bound by the Creator, in order to perpetually have a conflict, contention with the things of this world versus the things of the higher world, which is what we ought to be chasing. The moment we make that choice to indulge in sensation, the moment we make that choice to indulge in the flesh, right? We are now bound. You're going to a police officer and you're taking the handcuffs and putting them on your hands, on your wrists, sorry. Then you're taking a chain, and into the middle of those handcuffs, you're binding them to an anchor. And then you're taking the anchor and you're throwing it deep into the ocean. That is how bound you will be when you decide to worship sensation and physical pleasure. The world knows this very well, right? The world casts this in your face very, very well. They do it consistently and perpetually, because the liberated man is a dangerous man. Let me repeat that. The liberated soul, the liberated man, is a dangerous man. You see, men are one of the only species, right? Men. male, the male species, is the only species that is able to transcend his destiny, that is able to break and modify his genetic code in a positive ascending way. Let me repeat, guys, I don't know if you're understanding this. You might think that I'm talking a whole bunch of coswallop, but this is true. If we stay on semen retention, we deal with our karma, which will present itself. Okay, you're not Buddhists, right? It doesn't matter. Karma is just a labeling of the cause and effects in this world. When you are able to deal with all the effects that came out of the causes that you have done in years past, you are now bringing yourself into a new future. With semen retention, you are saving that energy, saving those vitamins in order to reinvigorate your brain and stretch your IQ, increase your IQ. You are therefore modifying your genetic code, which makes you way more valuable than what your parents were ever able to do for you, ever. Granted, if your father was on semen retention, which he wasn't, most likely. We have a duty in this world to fight against this shadowy entity that seeks to claim all of our souls, to stop us from evolving, to stop us from teaching the true way to men all over the world. The true path is the one that eschews the ways of physical sensation. Physical sensation is a god, it is an oppressive force, it is a darkness, el diablo. This is a very horrible being that seeks to capture your soul and cradle you. It will give you everything you ever wanted. Women, the Birkin bags, right? A beautiful Escalade, kids and a family. These are all fetters. There's no one that has ever lent to the ascension of this planet that had any of those things. Nikola Tesla created systems, electricity, that we use to this day. He did not have a family. Isaac Newton, 26 years old, has created calculus, right? Which we still use to this day. I think engineers use calculus. A man of science, but ultimately a man of God. A man that followed the objective, true monad and his ways in order to work in tandem with the objective reality. Individuals that eschewed families, that eschewed worshiping the physical sensations of the body and the sensations of this world. I could say this forever. How does this work with me, right? What have I done? What are the sacrifices that I have made in my life, right? I mean, I've been off and on semen retention, but I have lost a lot of friends. I have lost a lot of people that I thought were on my team. I lost a lot of girlfriends, all because inside, I mean, on the outside, I was always, seeking pleasure. I was always seeking to be caught and ensnared by the world. Ultimately, inside, there was another Sombra that fought violently against the things of this world and ultimately its true proponent and master, the god of sensation. The inside of me fought with that perpetually, even to this day, and has put me in line in tunnels of fate in order to evade that death, right? That death of the soul, the death of the spirit. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Ascend, my friends. Fight against the shadowy entity that pushes degeneracy, that pushes physical sensation. You have mentors in this world, male mentors. Remember, I'm always talking to young men. We have male mentors in this world that try to push their ideas of success onto you, which is binding yourself to the things of this world, having families, sleeping around, buying jewelry. These things don't matter. That's how you know how serious it is, because I'm taking off my goddamn hat. These things do not matter. True ascendance. We have Buddha, maybe a fictional or a non-fiction story. Buddha has eschewed his life of luxury, right, in order to find enlightenment, because he said a comfortable life can teach men nothing. Comfort, of course, in physical luxury goods, but comfort as in finding solace and rest within sensation, physical sensation. Eschew those things, guys, you'll find ascension yet. And with that being said, that's all I have to say today. If you guys enjoyed that kind of content, like, comment, subscribe, share the video with some peers. Do not ever let this place get you down. The worlds, the gods of physical sensation are all around you, right? They're like godlike forms. They're not true gods. They're just manifestations of this world that's meant to keep you bound here. These things want to take over you. They want to take your mind. Everything that has to do with comfort, eschew it. You don't need anything. You don't need anyone that pushes that type of behavior on you. What you need is singular attention. What you need is a cultivation of spirit and self. What you need is emotional and metaphysical security. What you need is complete cultivation and reinforcement of your auras in order to influence indirectly the things of this world to change its trajectory. That is it. Eschew that false being, the false demiurge of physical sensation, and stay radiant. I shall see you guys in the next video. Woo!